Yes, welcome back to Why in the Morning Special. Thanks to Hilda Wathifi and Oguda Kayesu for that amazing segment where we get to start our Wednesday on a laughing note, on a light note, as we tend towards the weekend. So my name is Barry Moses, or it's Barry Moore on every social media platform, and it's time for Strength of a Woman, as you will see later on the screen right here. And in studio with me is a special lady. At the age of 23, she has done a PhD in biomathematics, and she's a lecturer at the University of Strathmore, or Strathmore University, and she's here in studio with us. She goes by the name Dr. Purity Ngina.
Yes.
Karibu sana, doctor.
Asante sana.
All right, so if I left out anything in your in your intro, you can say it on camera. One.
Okay, I'm Purity Ngina, doctor in biomathematics. I teach at Strathmore University in the Institute of Mathematical Sciences. Yeah, that's what I do in my free time. I visit schools to talk to young girls and boys to just help them transform.
I like that you said young girls and boys.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
It's
don't
not
discriminate.
just girls. No. Because we need, as much as we want to build a woman, we need to build a man for that woman. I guess it's very important.
I like that.
Yeah. So
Wise words already, and we are not even a minute into the interview. As much as we need to build a woman, we need to build a good man for that woman.
exactly.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Take me back to your childhood. Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Nyeri County.
Nyeri, stand up. Nyeri is represented on Wine in the Morning.
I'm telling you. So, and in Kafaru ward, and in Kieni constituency. And then later I went to Nakuru for my bachelor's and my master's. I was at Egerton University in Joro. And then I came to Nairobi in 2016, where I joined Strathmore University to do my PhD.
All right.
And I cleared that last year in June. That's when I graduated.
All right. When I was in school, not so many people carried on with their studies. Many people went into the world of employment, world of business. People want that money because they've been broke for 5 years in my case. What held you back to stay in school and just carry on with your studies?
For sure, I also got those mixed feelings. Should I do my master's or should I first go and work? But I felt I needed to become better for my own self. And I'm saying those who have degrees are not better. I believe everyone has where you want to go. You have goals, what you want to do, and you give priorities. So for me, I know in life there are many other things that I've not achieved, but education is one of the things that I felt
there's
is
so
important.
many you've achieved as well.
Just in education line, in academia. Of course, life is more to there's so
There's
much
more to life than academia.
Exactly. So, but for me, when I was at Egerton University, I knew that I needed to do my master's. As much as I came from a humble family, I really wanted to prove to myself that, yeah, you can do this thing. And the voices that are out there that as a woman you cannot. I really wanted to prove to my own self that, yes, the fact that a man can do this, a woman can even do it, probably in a better way. Or they can. I mean, so for that, I pushed on. When I did my bachelor's, I graduated with a first-class honors.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
So it didn't cost you so much to do the master's degree program?
Yeah, because I got a scholarship. When I got a first-class honors, Egerton University was very kind to me. They gave me a scholarship to do my master's. And when I was doing my master's, it was quite interesting because most of the time you're told you cannot finish a master's within 2 years. And surprisingly, I started my master's in 2013. And in 2015, I graduated. And Egerton is a public university where people will tell you, you cannot do this, you cannot do this. But for sure, I knew you can if you want it. If you really want to do something and you're self-driven and you're motivated from within you rather than from without, then you're going to do this. And I graduated, and that is how I joined Strathmore University. And luckily, again, I got a scholarship. I was sponsored by the DAD. It's a German kind of exchange program. And yeah, they sponsored my PhD, and that is how my education life has been.
So do you attribute this to luck, or there's hard work as well involved?
A lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. I mean, someone said hard work beats talent. I get it's Smith, the great actor. I for sure, you cannot, even what you're doing, it is hard work.
Takes a lot of hard work and practice.
A lot of hard work, practice.
I like that.
Yeah, true.
There's a phrase that was popularized by Miguna before he left the country, and it goes something like, what was the title of your dissertation?
Oh. My title was on management, optimal management of HIV. Patients. Of course, we are looking at the drugs and which is the most effective, because optimality is that most effective thing. And you know, when you talk about the effective of something, what are you looking into? Most of the people would assume it's just the money. Other people will assume is how it reduces the viral load. But then there are many things that you need to incorporate. Is it resorting to resistance? Assuming I have HIV and I have diabetes, is there any drug interaction? So those are the things we wanted to actually get to know. Within the three, I was working on fusion inhibitors. These are drugs that help to protect or prevent the entry of the virus in the CD4 cells. And then there's another drug we call the reverse transcriptive inhibitor that try to ensure that the reverse transcription process does not take place, because all viruses are RNA. So for them to make food, they need to be reverse transcribed to DNA. So we have a drug that tries to...
It took me back to biology class.
And then we have another one that is protease drug or protease inhibitor. What this drug helps is that when the virus already, they have made enough food, they need to be released back to the blood system. So it ensures that the released virus are defectives. That means they cannot really infect any other. So we wanted to see within these three categories, which is the most effective. And if it is effective, then is it what the government is is bringing to the country? Can we assist in bringing more insight to the people making policies and tell them, yes, this is what you're doing, but can you take this kind of, rather than what you've been doing, can we change, can we shift? And of course, it's an ongoing project.
It's an ongoing project.
Yeah, we're still continuing with my...
It's not published yet.
No, I've published 3 papers.
We can find it online?
Yes.
All right, how can they get a hold of your published papers? Your camera is number 1.
If you want to get my papers, so far I've published 6 papers. 3 I published when doing my master's. Of course, it's not on HIV, but on HIV I've published 3. And if you just Google Purity Muthoni Ngina publications on HIV, you're going to get 3 papers that are already online. And of course, I'm working on one which I sent. It has been accepted, just waiting for it to be published.
No social media platforms, just Google Purity
Muthoni Ngina publications on HIV.
On HIV.
Because I have other publications,
All right, so you had like you had the outcome of the research. You had your results.
Yeah, true.
Are there any recommendations you've made?
Yeah, true. There's so many. First is that what is being currently done, we need to really look into that, because most of the time we try to just take policies from probably other countries, but we don't
without understanding our own problems.
Our own problems. I was recently watching some program where someone was saying that we have deficit of ARVs. I can't say that with a lot of certainty, but someone was saying in a national television, and I asked myself, why should that happen? And looking back, we now have test and treat. So everyone, if you're positive, you can take ARVs. I don't know whether when they say test and treat, they ensure that we have enough ARVs to take care of the new people
who are getting infected.
They're actually infected, only that Kitambo, you had to wait for your CD4 cells to go down. Now, whether you got infected yesterday or today and you're positive, you start the ARTs. So I guess there are many things that we need to look into. And of course, continue encouraging people to understand and to be aware of their own status. Sometimes is very funny, because even us, you talk about know your own status, and I ask most of the people whom we are working on the same, do you really know your own status? And someone would say, probably no, they have not. So I guess we need to take this initiative, because for us to work on this problem, then everybody need to play a very important role. It's not left to academia or people in the National AIDS Council. Of course, they're doing a lot, for sure. Kenya is one of the countries where, if you go back to the history and where we have come, we have come a long way, and I think the government is doing something.
Even in the health sector.
Exactly, right. Especially on HIV.
We have a looming lecturer strike, not lecturers, nurses strike. So that's up for debate, what the government has done so far. But there's progress we can see.
A lot of progress. You know, I mean, getting even these ARTs for free is not It's not easy. If you go to other countries, I visited Germany, and they spend a lot of money buying these drugs. So the fact that if I'm infected, I can go to a CCC, comprehensive care center.
Get a free test.
Exactly.
Get free medication after, and get free counseling. And given supplements as well. So there's progress.
There's a lot of progress, but a lot need to be done. Because you can imagine, since this disease was documented the first time in 1983 in US, and we're still talking about it. Actually, in Kenya, we have like about 1.5 million of people. And if you look at the every time that people are tested and the results are out, and I guess the last statistics, we had a lot of new infection amongst the youth between the age of 15 and 24, which is very heartbreaking. Sometimes I sit down and try to imagine, most of us at an age of 15 to 24, you didn't go for a test. So kind of my own imagination is that everybody who went for that test might have been tested positive. I'm not saying with a lot of certainty, but if you check at those new kind of infection, it's not something that we can be proud of, because
so we need a solution for it.
We really need a solution.
With a background in mathematics and a little bit of statistics, what do you attribute this to? The new infections coming from the age of 15 to 24? We always want to blame something. Give us something to blame.
I really don't know whom to blame on this one, because I believe everyone has been told. I think the information is out there, how to take care of yourself. I guess everyone needs to probably, I would say, abstain at that age until you get to the right time where you get a partner and get married. Of course, that is not what is happening. There's a lot of information, but there are other probably who are born with it, and that one I would blame probably the parent, because now you can take a drug and you get a child who is
conceive your child from it, even if
so if that is the case, I think then there need to be a lot of people trained on why it is important. But stigmatization is real. Is real. We were discussing with one of my colleagues called Dr. Collins, and he was telling me that people walk from far, especially in Mount Kenya region, because you don't want, comprehensive care centers is in your village, and the nurse there is also a person,
is a member of the village.
So you can imagine if you go there,
she has all the information of the infected people.
Exactly. And you go there at the same time. So you're going with your kijiji. Everybody is there. So
and there's one day for collecting the drugs also. So you come in groups.
Yes, and these people come from your own village, so they might tell other people that you're infected.
Which people are scared of.
If everybody is scared to be known, so they walk for far distances.
They go to another one in another village
can you
somewhere.
Imagine? It's so sad. I guess
so we need to work on the stigmatization part first. We need
for
people.
me, if someone tells me they're positive, I don't see them as a lesser human being. I feel they're still part of me. I walk with them. I love them even more. And I guess everyone should do that, because we all need love. We all need love.
So we need to understand stigma is a hindrance to the fight against HIV.
It is. If we keep talking about 90, I don't think how much we're going to achieve that. If your friend tells you, "Hi, I'm positive," and you're like, you start even tweeting it on social media. Something
we make
we have seen.
them scared of coming out.
Exactly.
I like that. All right. So we have the Big Four agenda. Health is a major pillar to it, and I see your line of mathematics, you've tended it more towards the health sector. So we were having a conversation about what do you call it? Multidisciplinary approach to this health thing, where we have everybody in everything they do. We have from mechanics to doctors like you having a role to play in this sustainable healthcare. What can you say about this?
For sure, everyone needs to play a role. And as a mathematician, and I feel maths is one of the subject that is applicable everywhere. Because just to give you an example, if you want to know what will happen after 10 years to a patient, you cannot test any medicine using that patient for 10 years to know the outcomes. You can only use mathematics to tell you what happens if you increase the time horizon. And I believe mathematicians like me in applied and those who are in statistics can help the government, because the data will be out there, but we need someone to analyze it, someone to project what is likely to happen. As much as the medicine is there, the people are being told you need to have insurance, which is very important. I keep telling my people, if you don't have insurance, you should not be my friend, because I guess everyone should be taking initiative and pay the 500 shillings, I think the minimum. And I'm lucky to come from Nyeri County, where the piloting was done. So
the global health thing.
And even just playing a simple role by telling your friends, a group of your friends, like you must have insurance. You must have insurance.
So knowledge is very important, number one.
And telling them the importance. Of course, people will ask you, if you go to hospital, sometimes they're going to reject the NHIF. Of course, there's a lot of things that need to be done to ensure that if I have insurance, I can get quality health services in any hospital. And I guess probably that is why most people are scared to just continue paying. Others go to private kind of insurance so that, because they will be assured. But I guess everybody need to play a role, even as simple by telling someone. And if you have your elder parents, paying for them. I mean, 500 shillings is the sacrifice they made when you were young. If my mom was there, I would have really paid the 500 and to ensure that she's insured. Actually, if you don't have good health, that is when you get to know the importance of.
So what I'm getting from you, knowledge is very important, and we all need to be insured.
True.
Make sure. You never know when you're going to fall sick.
Yeah.
And you never know when you're going to need that insurance.
Everyone needs to be insured. Everybody.
I like that.
Yeah.
The census is coming up. As a mathematician, and maybe you've checked out the parameters that they check, or that they have in the criteria of taking the data. Maybe they come to a person, they ask certain questions. I don't know the questions in particular, but what would you want them to do better? What other data would you like them to get from the people?
I guess because most of the time we are talking about unemployment, and let me mention, you saw that that story of the Rono, Ruth, who had a first class, and unfortunately she couldn't get a job. I guess we need to understand the...
Yes, and we have the three musketeers in Thika who robbed a bank. They were all graduates and they never got jobs. We cannot forget them.
True. If they really want to get to know the number of people who are out there with skills, I guess it can come out from such a census where do you have a job? What do you do? I mean, something like that, so that we are aware of the kind of, we keep talking about there's no employment. We don't have people educated. We don't have skills, We need to know purity is in this line, purity is, but doesn't have a job. So that by the end of the day, when the government is saying that we have created this number of jobs, we get to understand this number of jobs was given to this number of people, and how many other people
created them according to the requirements of their population.
And how many people do we have still who have not yet employed? But looking at that, when that story of that lady came out, and I could see many people offering her a job, I asked myself, is it that they are jobs? Only that either they're keeping them for their own people. There were so many offers. Right? There were so many, and good ones. If it is not PR, it means someone is sleeping on his job.
There's a job somewhere?
Yes.
Because people apply daily. People keep applying for jobs.
Yeah. So you ask yourself, what is really happening? How come there are 7 opportunities now? 10 opportunities all of a sudden.
So maybe it's the lack of statistic or data.
Exactly. There's no data, or probably you don't even know if we can have a place where a bank of people leaving universities with different courses, what they have done. It would be easier for an employer to get there, see this spirit in Ngina, she did this and this and this. Can she fit? Is she qualified? Yes or no? And then you can go to the next person.
Can even have the recommendations from the lecturers as well. I'd like to take you back to class now. Enough of the sad stories. How is interacting with students like? Because I'm guessing some are barely, some are older than you, some are almost your age, because you're quite young.
Fortunately, I've been teaching younger children than me at Strathmore, because but we have a very nice kind of relationship. I've never had a student disrespect me. Actually, one of my rules is when I go to class, the first time I give them my number and my email, and surprisingly, they will only call me to talk about the things that I'm teaching them, and when necessary. So I like that, because sometimes you can get some other kind of funny things that can scare you. So I've never experienced, and I think first, is because I show them love, so they also treat me
Love
with a
is
lot,
very important.
with
Love
a lot
from
of
the
respect.
teachers.
It
Alright.
is very important.
When you were in campus, I'm pretty sure there's some traits from lecturers that you didn't really like. Tell me some of them that you said, I'm going to improve on this when I get my job in school like this one.
I think for me is just being down there, allowing the student to relate with you nicely. They don't even have to come tell me the problems about the mathematics courses I'm teaching. They can even open up, because you see, as young person, and I'm young like them, we are going through a lot of things that you need someone who can really work with you. So I guess for me opening up my space and allowing them to get in that space and being my friends, that is something you might not find in many universities, because people are like, either everybody's busy anyway, so you might not get time. But I try to ensure that I ask them, how are you doing? You know, just trying to relate with them well. If you see someone is not happy, you follow up, you know.
Alright.
So for me, that is something I made a deliberate decision to do. And I don't think there's anything much I didn't like about my lecturers, because I guess most of the time students who are not who really don't work hard complain so much. But if
We
you
have
do,
some images of you on screen right here. Maybe we are throwing you back. It's activity. So where is this?
this is at Strathmore University. Was actually
Your line of duty.
Yeah, this is an office occupied by my boss, Dr. Rachel Mbogo. So we were just having a chat. Actually, this day I'd gone to get an award from Democracy Trust Fund. So they recognized me as a woman in STEM, and I was coming from that place, and I wanted to tell my boss, you know.
All right. Throw some evidence.
Yeah.
We're going to have evidence of this as well. All right. So I'd like to know what next for you.
Oh, a lot of things.
A lot of things. Just give me a short-term plan. I hear you'll be traveling sometime soon. But before we talk about that, this is another picture of you. What is happening here?
This is after I got my PhD. That is our on 29th of June.
The picture is self-explanatory. There's so much
telling you.
happiness on your face.
I was excited, but of course that was my first graduation that I graduated. My mom was not alive, and as much as there's that smile out there, there's some inside there you're like, oh,
what if mom was here to see? All right.
Yeah, and yeah, true. So there's a lot of emotions when your parents are not there to celebrate your success.
All right. We have another picture here. I see gentlemen in ties seated down taking notes from you. What is happening?
So I'd gone to Dagoretti High School, and I was talking to the Form 4s, just trying to help them transform from who they are now to where probably they want to get. And this is a Form 4 class, of course, very hopeful. And this was a very early morning. I'd gone there at 6:30 because we didn't want to interrupt the program. I do this most of the time, try to... actually, you know, most of us were in academia. You don't want to go to school to talk to children. But then if you don't go, how will they come to the university?
All right.
Yeah, you know, you need to go to them so that when they are
prepare
coming,
them
prepare
for this
them.
and make them ambitious enough.
Yeah, this one I went to Matunda in Kitale. It is far.
In Kitale.
But let me tell you something I discovered. This is a purely day school. And out of the number, I can't remember the number. Can you imagine 65 students will be joining university?
All right.
And
wonderful.
most of us are so obsessed with taking our children to national school, right? But a day school like this.
Not most of us. I think all of us.
Yeah. I'm telling you. A day school like this, having 65 students. And in mathematics, they had... they were number 2 in Kakamega County. And that is something that was very...
And people have always looked down upon day schools.
Yeah.
What is the message you're trying to preach with this?
Any school is a good school. And as much as any school is a good school, we should not be obsessed. It is about what you get there. It's not the school. It's the knowledge you're gaining. And these teachers have gone through the same training. In someone in Alliance School, because me, I'm a teacher by training. I've been trained by the same lecturers. Only that probably the resources might be different. But you choose to go there and work rather than complaining.
So it's never about the school. It's about what you do.
It's about you as a person, you as a student. When you get to that school, what do you do? And I guess also parents play a very important role. You know, if you're taking me to a school and you're telling me, that is just a day school. There was a time in my village, people used to take children to another day school. Now they used to say, let me quote, a place you just go, spend the day.
Quote again. So
come back in the evening.
The fellas who understand, you can get it faster. Just say it one more time.
Gatido. Yeah.
All right.
So you go, spend the day, come back home.
All
So
right.
what is the message? That you're not going there to learn. You've just gone there to pass time.
So parents always need to encourage their students,
encourage
no matter where they land. Because they can
Whichever
always
the school.
get from there going up.
Yeah, whichever the
Wonderful.
school.
Wise words from Purity Ngina here, Dr. Purity Ngina. I won't miss the doctor again. So White54 channel on Twitter, White54 _ channel on Instagram, and White54 on Facebook is the way to interact with us. Don't forget your name and where you're watching us from, and keep your views, your comments, and your questions. Come and direct them to Dr. Purity Ngina herself. We have a picture on screen right here. Tulichimba sana, tulikuchimba sana. We are sorry. I apologize on behalf of my crew, but what is going on here?
Oh, this is my fiancé.
All right.
He's called, he's an engineer. He's a lecturer at y2mate University. Yeah, so he loves me.
All right.
And I love him.
All right.
I was reading an article by CEO of the 21st farm something. She talked about gender, and she said for a career woman, is either you only have two choices: you get a very supportive man or no partner. So I guess for him, he's really supportive. If I want today now, if I've been saying if I get someone to sponsor me, I would go do my postdoc for 2 years, and he doesn't worry. He's not so scared.
He's not intimidated.
Yeah, never.
He's a smart
like,
guy as well.
Yeah, he's like.
Right. How did you guys meet?
We met in Germany.
Oh, you met in Germany.
Yeah.
What were you doing in Germany?
I'd gone to do my PhD, and him, he was doing his master's in electrical engineering. So
you speak German as well?
No, but I know ich bin aus Kenya.
All right, to all our German viewers, ich bin. All right, to all our German viewers, ich bin. Right there. So you met in Germany. You are the only two Kenyans in that particular school.
No. Actually, we were not in the same school. We went to the same university, in y2mate University, but that did not click like anything is
back
going
then.
to. Yeah, exactly.
You were busy.
Yeah, we were both busy, and he's a very smart guy to get a scholarship to do his masters in Germany. So we met there, like now.
When you met in Germany, sparked.
Yeah, we decided, can we try this? And our wedding is
You're
soon.
here now. What is happening here?
So this time I'd been invited by Father Stephen to talk to the youth. So yeah, after that they wanted me to get a token, and that is what is happening. This is in Ruiru.
Oh, this is in Ruiru.
Yeah, so I was talking to the young people.
All right.
Between the age of 18 to 20, I guess, yeah.
Wonderful. I like what you're doing to the community at large, and what you're doing for yourself, and all the best in your wedding. Are we inviting?
No. no invite.
All right, what is happening here?
So this time I went to 2 Rivers, and I was amazed by this guy. You know, Kazi ni Kazi. This guy is so jovial. You know, there's a guy, and he's like, can we take a photo? And he's so excited. This is in 2 Rivers, and I mean, these are places where you learn things. That Kazi ni Kazi. Whichever place you are, can you love your job? And I guess that is one of the most important.
Kazi ni kazi, and less respect.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah.
All right. We
So,
have another one right here.
So this, what happened is that where I live, we have Nyubakumi initiative. So my friends and the tenants in the same place, they decided to celebrate me after graduation. And because my mom was not alive and they knew I would have loved her to be there, they drew this thing for me. This is me and this is Mama, just drawn, and it's so pretty. And the fact that the people you didn't know, you're just living in the same neighborhood, and
I know
they
you
celebrate
cherish this so much.
I love
her
it.
soul rest in peace.
Yeah, I love it.
And keep representing her well. You've done well so far.
Thank
Keep
you.
doing it. So we'll get to the feedback. This is feedback. Before we sample the feedback, don't even look at it.
Okay.
All right, how can they find you on social media?
Oh, so I have page, Dr. Purity Ngina. I have a Facebook, wherever, normal Purity wa Ngina. I'm on Twitter, Purity Ngina. I'm on Instagram, Purity Ngina. But I guess Facebook is what for me I love doing. I'm also I post things online. So I'm in YouTube.
Motivational things.
Yeah, things. Yeah. I when I wake up and there's something I feel is important, I just throw it out there, because I believe everyone needs another voice to remind you why we are all in this planet.
All right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So this is from Facebook. We have Owen Gray, anasema locked out to marriage. Kinjo Wamaina, Puri, I love you. from your home village. It's a must rush. You know this guy?
Yeah.
All right, shout out to you, Kinjo Maina. I know you're proud of Purity. She made it. Balozi Ken, artist from Kitale, says, Ako locked Pia. We appreciate everybody who sends their feedback our way. We have Abigail Muiruri says, Karen, Niko tune sana. All right, Patrick Kariuki anasema locked in, Naivasha tuned. Dennis Okongo, Nyamato anasema Kisi, niko tuned. I like the spelling of tune. All right, Sam Des Salunis anasema Zimmerman Bez in. Felix Kiptui anasema tune kabisa. Val. Yes, Woni Fanwa Val. Waweru wa signature anasema present in class. Thank you very much, because we have had a class as well. We have had a lesson from Dr. Purity herself. So another question that is coming from one of our viewers here is, what is the difference between a doctor and a professor when all of you have PhDs or PhD holders?
There's so much difference. A professor is more advanced career-wise, because now I'm just a lecturer. But for you to get to the professor, you need to be a senior lecturer. You become an associate professor.
All that you need to go
then
through
you
before.
become a professor. So what you need to do to get there, first supervise student. I need to supervise student taking their masters in biomathematics. I need to supervise a PhD student before I get there. And you have to publish many papers. Actually, for you to grow career-wise, you know, the number of students you teach is a research you do, and the quality and the papers you publish. And for me, that is what I want to be known of. If you mention biomathematics, then you should not leave Purity in Ngina.
You want to leave an impact, for sure.
For sure. So that's what I want to do. And more importantly, help other women grow and believe in their own selves and their own skin. You saw the Slater versus whatever thing trending on Twitter. And when I went there, I was like, is it that we are so obsessed with what you see rather than who I am?
The objectification.
Yes, exactly. Most of us women, we probably want to be defined by what other people see. And that is, for me, I am just like this. I really like myself the way I am. So even when someone come and tell me, Purity, you need to do this, I really can't do that. I am going to give you a story that is very funny. I had some sofas like this one sometimes. And when I went to Germany, I wanted to shift the house, so I wanted to dispose. I thought I had the best. You know, like the best. You know how you trust in yourself.
And you trust in
I told my friend, can we dispose them? And she was like, I don't think anybody is going to buy this one. And I was like, they're the best. Surprisingly, when we posted online, the comment we got, I realized, okay, do I live in a box that I don't know what people really, you
like
know, those
wanasema
zilizopendwa, that means it's a kitambo. But for me, it shows that whatever I have is what I like. Whatever you have, I celebrate it, but I won't be jealous, and I won't do anything to take it. I'll just be contented with my own skin, my own me, and that is where most of us fail.
And that is the message you're preaching.
Yeah.
I was about to tell you to speak a message of inspiration to the ladies. You already did it without me asking. So one last question. Do you think we are ready for a woman president as a country?
We are. We are. I guess everybody, surprisingly, need a woman. It doesn't have to you marrying a woman. You need you had a mother, you have sisters, and you need them in your life. So and you can see that families where the women are there, me raised by a single mother, I can use that as a model to show how, without the struggle she went through, she made me who I am. Can you imagine if we had her as the president of this country, should make this country better? And it's so unfortunate that we're even yet to pass the gender rules. So I don't know whether we are yet to even appreciate the women we have. But I was reading something that most of the time we are obsessed with he for she, but should be he for he and she for everybody, because a woman will grow this country. And I'm not saying that men cannot grow the country. They have done a tremendous job, but we need everybody on board. One of the person I admire is Monica Juma. There's something in her that I see. And if I'm given a chance to like say that this is a president of this country, I would do that, because
you can vouch for her.
There's something in her that you can see. can move this economy somewhere. That is one of the women.
Thank you very much.
No.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you for coming.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep bettering this country. Keep supporting the girl child. Keep supporting the boy child, and keep being an awesome lecturer to your students.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Yes, it doesn't get better than this on Strength of a Woman. Dr. Purity Ngina. If you'd like to read publications, head straight to Google Dr. Purity Ngina publications on HIV, right? That's the way to find her publications. She has done so much work on this, and currently she is a lecturer at the Strathmore University. True. And she's looking to become a professor sometime soon.
6 years.
6 years from now. Yes, I like the way you're giving me the ad-libs. I like that so much. Karibu tena kwa Y in the Morning. Whenever you have another agenda to push that you think this country would like to know about, we welcome you to Y in the Morning. Yes, I go by the name of Barry Moses, or It's Barry on every social media platform. Kalamival is coming through with Girls Talk, so don't touch that down.